All right. So we're going to try to do this quick. We're going to talk about the new event system for sake of Rep Council. So here we go. Um, so these things are now created not as regular events. So this is actually the old system. All these events are created as we've looped this in now with the store. So these ticketed events are created. You can still use this, by the way. Events to just create one-off things. It'll still create that nice calendar, but ticketed events now are a kind of product. So I'm going to go in here to products. Once we get here, I'm going to go ahead and either start a new one like we've done before, or in this case, I'm going to, and I've marked these things private for now, so they only show up for admin logins. I'm going to go in here and click edit. We're just going to edit this one like other products, so not editing with Cornerstone or those other things right there. So once we get into this product, a lot of it is like normal. So let me go through that part just quickly. It's just like other products. So name, you can edit the link if you want it to be a certain shorter link. Same things from a publish standpoint over here. We've got an event registrations category so that all of these products can go into that potentially. I did create a quick product image because I didn't see the one that had been created, but there had already been one. So you can pick which one you want to use. You can change that if you'd like. So that's in there. And then, since we're right here, I'll take a glance at this. So this short description is the one that shows up right next to the product image. So that's this part right here. So this is kind of the main, this would be the main preview. These are the sentence or two that are headlines. Up here is where the rest of the content goes. So all the rest of the information, we want to put that right here. So the headlines are down at the bottom in that short description. The rest of the description goes right in here. So there's nothing in there right now. These would be any of the other details that they need. Then we are now in, we've got some other things here in our whole product area. So when this product is an event, I'm going to start by simply clicking on that, and it asks a handful of questions. And this is where we fill in the rest of the details, just like we had done in the other thing. Now we do that sort of in the context of the product, but it's got pretty much all the same info. So is it an event, yes or no? That's the start, and then all this opens up. Start dates. You can set the number of days, because one of the things that it allows you to do is check in people multiple days, so they can check into day 2 and things like that. We've added that that functionality if you need to do check-ins on each morning, for example, if that were part of anything. So start times if you want them, and then venue. The GPS coordinates here are the ones that are displayed to people. The Google Map coordinates, which these can often be the same, are the ones that it actually uses to create the map. Written directions right here. A phone number, put the office email there. So this is the contact info. Again, written directions or other directions about how to get there. Could be an extra bit about parking, something like that, if that's not going to get sent in a follow-up email. Ticket logo, I think I just used the same one as this, but you can add maybe I made a smaller one. But actually, that's a lie. I just used the regular logo. So just so the NCCL logo was on there. You can do any kind of ticket logo that you want there. This is the email that will then go out to them. It's going to have the ticket on it, and it's going to have whatever info you want on there. Right now, I've just duplicated the short description because I don't know what the rest of the content is. So this is the ticket text for them. You can tell them whatever else you need to tell them right here. They will also get, as soon as they actually buy it, they'll go to a thank you page. And so that's another chance to communicate with them. It could be the same info, or it could be other special info. A couple other just branding things. Ticket border, I've set those things to be that main blue color. Because on the ticket there's a border and a button. You kind of saw that. And then there's a handful of checkboxes that, depending on the event, you may or may not want to add. So purchaser attendee details, that's usually good because if they actually then print out, well, I'm going to try to add a PDF printout functionality here. So if they print it out, they would have those details and it would match them. Adding the calendar, display. Most of these are just display things. Do you want an add to calendar button? Do you want a date and time? Do you want to do a barcode for scanning? Ticket price, all of those things. Do we want to? So here are a couple others though then that we've added now because we said we want to do some custom fields, which I'll show you in a second. So, but the initial details. Do we want details for individual attendees? That's going to be a yes. Attendee telephone, attendee company, attendee designation. We could do that designation. We could use that field to do the voting designation, or we could add that as a separate custom field. But we would just need to, either way, we're going to need to contextualize and clarify for people what that means. And do we want to email them the tickets? And then here, inside this event thing is where we download the CSV. We can include a couple of things there. So there's the quick walkthrough of that. That's all the main info, which you'll see pretty much reflects the same things as before. And then a couple other things going on here. So one is custom attendee fields. This is the place to do the custom data that we want. So right now I simply did a couple sort of examples. Are they attending lunch? I don't remember whether there's a meal choice option here or things like that, but you can choose either a text, just a simple text fill, which could be like, tell us any dietary restrictions, a text area, or select. So if they're either choosing between meals or something like that, or maybe it's just simply attending. The options get added over here, and you can see it says when you're using that, you just put that vertical line symbol. They call that the pip symbol. You put that vertical line symbol in between the options, and then that will separate those. And then again, if you want it required or not. So you can add as many fields as you want, and these fields will be asked by attendee. Lastly, a bunch of, I'm going to skip for sake of time the rest of this because there's all this, there's this general stuff, inventory here, things that we've done before. The other two, though, that matter in here are the attributes and the variations. So this is where we create different ticket types, so different types of attendees or things like that. You'll see it uses the same symbol to separate here. So we get to say the attributes are all the different things that might be a selectable option. So ticket type is one selectable option. Are they a board member? Are they this? Or are they that? So if they, whatever the different ticket types that we might have. Now we can actually choose. We can choose a bunch of other potential variations. So it might be ticket type. This is where we likely would put in, for clarity's sake, their voting status, things like that. So then what we do is once we have all the attributes that they can potentially select from, we can add them as variations. So this is what they will actually end up selecting. So if this might help to think of it like if it were a clothing line, this might say color, and another might say size, and another might say cut, things like that. And then there are different variations based on different combinations of those ticket types. So they're then able to select these different attributes, and when they select the attributes, we can, now I'm going back down into variations here, we can then, and there will likely be a bunch of these because the more attributes, the more variations that you could have, and that's all right. The nice thing is you can set each variation, so let me expand these. You can set each variation its own little logo if you want. You can, and this is actually where we want to get in and make sure that we are clicking enabled, that we're clicking virtual, and that we want to manage stock from this level. because virtual makes sure there's no shipping cost attached. Managed stock means we want to manage the number of tickets based on the certain amount. So right now it says there's 98. That's because I bought 2 test ones of these from the initial 100. So here's where we select the quantity. Some other things like, can we do back orders / a waiting list? Usually not for your things. So and then if for some reason we just simply run out, we can just mark something as out of stock on whatever it is. We set a regular price. We can set a sale price with a schedule if we want. We can add a SKU. I added SKUs so far just because in the reporting then, if you want to go to the more advanced reporting, you can do reporting based off SKU. Same thing down here. So we just had 2 so far. A rep council member, so I just put rep as that. Down here, same things. Board. So there we go. So these are really the main things. There are other things you can do down here with some different restrictions. We have set some of those up before, but for most of the part, we won't have to worry about those. This advanced section shouldn't really need to worry about. Probably don't want reviews on these things, for example. And we won't need to add purchase notes because we can add them in those emails that come afterward anyway. So that is that's the main thing.